Wake up! Bluefur kept her voice low so she didn't disturb White Eye, Mousekit, or Runnykit. Come on, Mousekit, open your eyes! She gently shook her kids one by one and watched as they stretched, trembling, and opened their sleepy eyes. Stonekit yawned. Is it dawn? Not yet, Bluefur murmured, so we have to be quiet. We don't want to wake anyone up.
What's the matter?
Missykit squeaked. Hush! Bluefur looked anxiously at White Eye's nest. Runnykit was fidgeting in his sleep. She wrapped her tail around her own kits, quieting them until Runnykit lay still, then whispered, We're going to play a game, but you have to be very, very quiet. Stonekit was wide awake now, blinking in the darkness. What game? It's called Secret Escape. Bluefur made her eyes bright, forcing herself to look excited. She felt as if she were in a dream. Nothing she said or did was really happening. Missykit jumped to her paws.
How do we play?
It's an adventure, Bluefur explained. We pretend that Strickland has invaded the camp. We have to escape without being seen and meet our clanmates at Sunny Rocks. Mousekit stared at her with round, anxious eyes.
We're leaving the camp?
Stonekit nudged her. How else would we get to Sunny Rocks, mouse brain?
But we've never been out of the camp before. We're too little.
Mousekit fretted.
I'm hungry.
Missykit complained. Bluefur fought the frustration, prickling her nerves. Okay, she mooed softly. Let's eat first. Then we'll start the game. Mousekit, you're a big, strong kid now. You'll be fine, I promise. She gave them what milk she had, which was even less than usual after so many days' hunger, and then nosed them out of the nest. Stonekit bounced to the entrance. I can't believe we're going out of camp, he mewed excitedly. Hush, Bluefur reminded him. If we wake any cats, we've lost the game. She squeezed out first and turned to scoop the 3 kids down into the snow. There had been a new fall since dusk, but the clouds had cleared, and the camp shone white in the moonlight. She scanned the clearing. No sign of life. Breath billowed from her mouth as she hurried her kids behind the nursery. The air was needle-sharp cold. We're going to use the dirt place tunnel, she whispered, checking again that no one was around to see them. That's what we'd do if we were really sneaking out of the camp. Bluefur hurried them through the narrow tunnel and out past the bush that covered the dirt place. Missykit wrinkled her nose.
Stinky.
Stonekit was staring up through the bare branches. Whoa! It's big out here! I know, little one. Bluefur nudged him on. She remembered the first time she had left the camp when Sunfall, then, had taken her to the top of the ravine just before she was made an apprentice. It had been the biggest adventure of her life, and she hadn't been able to imagine a time when scrambling up and down the ravine would feel ordinary or easy. The side of the ravine loomed above them. The kids tipped back their heads and stared up, their eyes huge and filled with the moon. I'll have to carry you up, Bluefur told them. Then you can see the real forest. Missykit blinked.
There's more?
Bluefur pricked her ears, listening for Stormtail. She knew he was guarding the camp tonight. Stormfur pricked his ears too. Are Shining Warriors after us? He squeaked. In the game, I mean. They might be, Bluefur whispered. We have to keep a lookout, just in case. That's what makes it so exciting. Missykit whipped around.
I think I see a Shadow Clan warrior in the trees.
She warned. Bluefur heart alert. Where?
Only pretend.
Missykit purred. Sighing, Bluefur scooped up and tackled the first tumble of rocks, leaving the little gray kit at the bottom. She went back for Stonekit. She was panting by the time she had collected the last kit. She left Mousekit until last because she was the smallest. She didn't wriggle when Bluefur picked her up, but she still felt heavier than a rock. My scruff hurts, Stonekit complained. I bet I could have climbed some of it myself. There wasn't time, Bluefur glanced at the moon rising in the sky. Elgar would be on his way. Stonekit stared into the forest, where moon shadows darkened the snow. I'm going first, he scrambled ahead of his little mates, glancing over his shoulder. Come on, you two! Bluefur noticed Missy Kit and Moss Kit forward. Even under cover of the trees, the snow was so deep that they had to struggle with every false step. Leaping out of one drift and sinking into another, she scooped them along, relieved that Stone Kit seemed to be able to manage it by himself. He glanced back at her. Does the forest go on forever? Bluefur had wondered the same thing. All those seasons ago, she shook her head. But Sunnyside has a lot of territory. That's what feeds us. It makes us strong.
It's not feeding the clan much at the moment.
Moss Kit grumbled. You should see it in Greenleaf. Bluefur's heart twisted. They'd never see it in Greenleaf. They'd be Roof Clan. Suddenly, she wanted them to know everything about their birth clan and what it has to be a forest cat. There are squirrels and birds and mice. All good hunting. Once you learn the techniques. Stone Kit squashed himself to the snowy ground. Red Paws already told me how to do a hunting crouch, he mewed. That's wonderful, darling. Bluefur felt a surge of pride as she saw his tail sticking out straight and still, keeping his haunches low while managing to lift his belly off the ground. He was a natural. You should try it, she urged Moss Kit and Missy Kit. She wanted them to keep some memories of how SunClan hunted. The two kids crouched awkwardly.
This snow's too cold.
Missy Kit protested, fidgeting. What am I doing? The forest was freezing. They needed to keep moving. Bluefur shook the snow from her whiskers. Come on, she urged. We can practice hunting another day. They were halfway to Sunny Rocks when the kids began to tire. Missy Kit was shivering, and Moss Kit's eyes were glazed with exhaustion.
Can we go home now?
She whimpered.
It's cold and I'm tired.
We have to keep moving, Bluefur insisted, fishing Stone Kit out of a drift. Snow had clumped to his fur and slowed him down.
I don't want to play this game anymore.
Missy Kit wailed. Stone Kit didn't try to change her mind. He just crouched beside her, shivering so much that Bluefur could hear his teeth rattling. Bluefur suddenly realized how tiny they were, out beneath the trees, how thin their pelts were. They should be snuggling beside the warmth of her belly, not trekking through the forest on a journey that no warrior would try in this weather. Just a bit farther, she urged. Stone Kit sat down and stared at her. I can't feel my paws, he announced. How can I walk if I don't know where my paws are? Moss Kit and Missy Kit huddled together. They looked as if they couldn't even feel their noses. She had to get them to Sunny Rocks. SunClan depended on it. An owl hooted. Bluefur stiffened, skinning the treetops as she gathered her kids closer. They'd be nothing more than a mouthful of tasty prey to a hungry owl. I've got an idea, she told them. Digging with her ice-numb paws, she scooped a hole in the snow underneath some ferns. In you go, she encouraged. The kids stumbled in and clustered into a small, shivering clump. At least they were out of the winds now. I'll be back for you in a moment. Bluefur bounded a tree length away and dug another hole, then hurried back to her kids.
Where did you go?
Missy Kit wailed. Moss Kit's eyes were wide with fear.
We thought you weren't coming back.
Bluefur's heart twisted. Oh, my precious kids, she murmured. I'll always come back. The words froze in her throat. How could she make a promise like that? Forgive me, StarClan! Swallowing her grief, she carried her kids one at a time to the next snow hole and pushed on, alone, to dig another. Little by little, snowhole by snowhole, they drew nearer Sunny Rocks. Each time she carried them, her kids complained less, struggled less, until they were hanging like limp, curled leaves when she tucked them into the final snow hole. Can we go home now? Stone Kit whimpered. There's someone we need to meet first. Bluefur forced herself to sound bright.
Who?
Missy Kit mew was dull, as though she didn't really care what happened. Bluefur glanced through the trees towards Sunny Rocks. There was no sign of Oakheart. Let's all rest here for a bit, she suggested. She squeezed into the snow hole and wrapped herself around her kids. They were colder than the snow, and their pelts crunched with frost.
Can't we go home yet?
Moskit's mew was little more than a whimper. You can sleep for a while here, Blueford told her. Moskit's eyes were already closed. Missykit snuggled closer. It's been a good adventure. Stonekit yawned and tucked his nose beneath his paws. Did we win? Blueford bent down and pressed her muzzle against the top of his head. Oh yes, little one, you won. Curling her tail around them, she pulled them tight into her belly. They were too tired to feed. She doubted she had any milk left for them anyway. I will love you forever, my precious kits. Thank you for spending this moon with me. She began to lap their pelts with her tongue, hoping to warm their cold, tired bodies. Stonekit fidgeted. Get off! I want to sleep! Missykit was too tired to complain, her breath coming in tiny billows. Moskit? The gray and white kit wasn't fidgeting. Blueford lapped her pelt again. Moskit? Panic started to grip her. She stared at the little bundle of fur, looking for the rise of her flank, a puff of frozen breast. The kit was perfectly still. Blueford licked harder. Moskit, please wake up. Please. There's warmth and safety just on the other side of the river. Your father will look after you. I promise. Just a little bit farther. My tiny, brave daughter. Blueford stopped licking and looked down at the small, snow-damp body. Wake up!
Blueford.
Snowford's breast stirred her whiskers. Blueford smelt the scent of her sister, drifting around the walls of the snow hole.
Let her go. I'll look after her.
No! Don't take her, please! Blueford gathered Moskit between her paws. Missykit and Stonekit stirred out her belly, but didn't wake. She wasn't supposed to die.
She's already gone. There's nothing you can do.
Snowford's mew echoed in her ears.
I'll look after her in Starkland.
Snowford's scent faded, and the icy tang of leaf bear filled the snow hole once more. Moskit didn't move.
Bluefur?
Oakhart's muzzle appeared at the mouth of the hole, sending Worm's fishy breath billowing inside. Stonekit woke up and twitching his tail. Yuck! What's that stench? Nothing, little one. Don't be rude. Bluefur forced herself to concentrate. She could still save 2 of her kits. Go back to the rocks, she told Oakhart. I'll bring them to you.
But I could carry one.
Oakhart offered. Bluefur glared at him. I haven't told them who you are yet. Go back! As Oakhart disappeared, she roused Missykit. We have to get moving.
But I was just getting warm.
You'll be even warmer soon, Bluefur promised. Where are we going? Stonekit demanded. I'm taking you to meet your father. Stonekit looked confused. Do you mean Thrushbelt? Runnykit told me that's who White Eye said was our father. Your real father, Oakhart, from RiverClan. From RiverClan? Stonekit echoed in disbelief. Hurry up, Bluefur ordered, nudging them out into the snow. Missykit glanced back into the hole.
What about Moskit?
I'll come back for her. But you said we were a SunderClan, Stonekit wailed. How can we be RiverClan as well? Bluefur didn't answer. She let the kids stumble along underneath her belly, sheltered from the snow that had started to fall. She glanced back, as if Moskit might be struggling after them, wailing at them to let her catch up. To her horror, the snow hole was starting to fill up. No, I might lose her! She looked around widely for somewhere to leave Stonekit and Missykit while she went back to rescue the sister. Farther along the riverbank, 2 shapes were paddling steadily away. Had Oakhart brought another cat with him? No. These kits were unhindered by the snow, gliding over the surface behind them. The snow was white and unmarked. These cats left no paw prints behind. One was full-grown, with a thick pelt of white fur that was made her almost invisible. The other was patched with gray, and barely as high as her companion's belly. The kid was looking up eagerly at Snowfur as they walked, as if she was telling her something exciting. Goodbye, Moskit. Snowfur will look after you now. Ow! Beneath Bluefur, Stonekit crashed forward onto his nose. The ground is hard, he yowled. They had reached the edge of Sunny Rocks. Paul's steps crouched towards them.
Are they okay?
Oakhart asked. quietly. Bluefur nodded without looking up at him. His scent wreathed around her, warm and comforting. For a fleeting moment, Bluefur longed to go with him. She wanted to walk the rest of her days at Oakheart's side, never have to leave him or her kids, but she couldn't. She had to save her clan. The kids were staring up at the stranger with their heads on one side. "This is Stone Kit." Bluefur trembled as she touched the light gray kit with her nose. "And this is Missy Kit." Her throat grew tight. She began to back away, her eyes blurring. "I can't say goodbye to them. Please, take care of them."
Where's the other one?
Oakhart called. "Dead." Bluefur stumbled, but didn't look around, not wanting to take her eyes from her kits.
Bluefur, come back! Are you coming back to get us?
Unable to bear their desperate cries, she turned and fled into the trees. She stopped by the clump of ferns. The snow hole had vanished, but Bluefur dug down, ignoring the pain in her forepaws, until she reached the tiny body. She carefully lifted Mosket out. She didn't even smell like the nursery anymore. She kept digging. There was no way Bluefur was leaving her daughter for foxes when the snow thawed. The ground ripped at her claws and rubbed her paws raw, but she kept scratching the frozen earth until the hole was deep enough to protect her kit. Numb, she laid Mosket's body in the hole and covered it over. She limped back to camp on throbbing, stumbling paws. There was one more thing she had to do, one more lie to tell my clanmates. She slipped in through the dirt place tunnel and quietly clawed a fox-sized hole in the back of the nursery. Then she squeezed through the dead entrance, checked that white eye. Mosket and Runnykit were asleep, climbed into her nest, and deliberately, loudly called an alarm to her clan. "My kids! My kids are gone!" Chapter 42. Edifang spoke gently. "Bluefur, would you like to join a hunting patrol today?" Bluefur gazed at him, trying to focus. A moon has passed since she left her kids with Oakhart. The nursery walls has been fortified with extra brambles. 2 warriors sat guards through each freezing night to make sure that no fox or badger would ever steal into the nursery again. The clan had believed Bluefur's story, that she'd awoken to find her kids gone. Every cat believed that they had been stolen by an animal that had clawed a hole in the back of the nursery, driven by starvation to venture the camp for the first time. They searched the forest for days, not knowing where to look. The scent trail killed by freezing snow. Bluefur had scoured the woods with her clanmates, numb with guilt, reminding herself over and over that she'd done it for her clan. Meanwhile, hunger and sorrow gripped the clan. They spoke in low voices and huddled in knots, eyeing Bluefur with pity that stabbed her like thorns. She was sick of telling lies. She hardly noticed how empty the fresh skill pile was these days. She was too miserable to eat, wishing only to hide in sleep. She felt as though the shard of ice piercing her heart would never melt. They'll be safe with Oakhart. The thought was enough to ease her grief. Was Mosket watching from Starkland, hating Bluefur for stealing her life? Had Snowfur explained that her life had been sacrificed for the good of her clan? Bluefur. Edifang rested his tail on her shoulder and repeated his question. "Do you feel up to hunting?"
I'll hunt with you, if you'd like.
Thrushbell hurried to join her. Sadness shadowed his gaze. He was grieving as a father would grieve. He'd worked harder than any other cat to reinforce the nursery, and his pelt was still tufted and scratched from the brambles he'd woven tightly into the branches. Bluefur wished she could tell him that the 2 kids lived on, safe and cherished, across the river. She shrugged off Edifang's tail. "I'd rather hunt alone." Edifang nodded. "As you wish." Thrushbell turned away, his eyes clouding. Rosetail caught up to her, pressing close as she padded towards the tunnel.
Bluefur! Are you going to be okay?
"No, nothing will ever be all right, ever again." Bluefur longed to curl up against her friend's warm fur and go to sleep for a moon. "I'll be fine," she replied, feeling hollow. She scrambled up the side of the ravine and headed into the forest. As the owl tree came into view, a squirrel darted across her path. She froze, her paws burning with cold, on the ice-hardened forest floor. The squirrel had a nut in its jaws and was scrambling among the roots of an oak. Bluefur dropped into a hunting crouch, tail straight, belly lifted from the forest floor. Stonekit, did he still remember his hunting crouch? Pushing away the sod, she thrust down with her hind paws and sprang, landing squarely and killing the squirrel with a single bite. Nice catch. Goosefeather's raspy mew made her whip around. The squirrel swung from her jaws. She dropped it. What are you doing here? The elders rarely made it up to the ravine. I still have legs, you know, he snapped. It was jarring to hear a clanmate speak to her in a voice that wasn't honeyed with sympathy. She straightened and met his gaze. What do you want? Did he have another stupid prophecy to ruin her life? You did the right thing. His words made her bristle. For whom? For your clan. Goosefeather narrowed his eyes. The prophecy left no room for kits. You must blaze alone at the head of your clan. Is that supposed to make me feel better? She hissed. She hated the prophecy and hated Goosefeather for telling her about it. Goosefeather blinked. It is not your destiny to feel better. It's your destiny to save your clan. And I will, she growled, her mew as hard as flint. But I will always regret what I've done. The kids were your choice. Goosefeather pointed out. Starkland made no provision for them. Starkland made me sacrifice everything I loved. Bitterness rose like bile in her throat. My kids! Goosefeather cut her off. They're alive, aren't they? Not Moss Kit! Starkland will honor her loss. What about my loss? It is small compared with the fate of your clan. Bluefur shook her head, trying to clear it. Was she just being selfish? What was one heartbreak compared to the safety of her clanmates? Where was her loyalty? She dipped her head. I'll serve my clan, she promised. Good. Goosefeather nodded. Sunstar wants to talk to you. He padded away into the trees. Bluefur met the SunClan leader as he was climbing over the top of the ravine. Bluefur, Sunstar greeted her. I want to talk to you, away from the camp. He headed into the forest. Walk with me. Bluefur fell in beside her old mentor, remembering how he had spoken to her after the death of Moonflower, and again when she'd been grieving for Snowfur. Is this another lecture to tell me to leave the past behind? She growled. He shook his head. It seems you are destined to suffer. He sighed. Bluefur looked into his eyes and saw how the SunClan leader had aged in the last few seasons, making SunClan strong and feared among the other clans. Had cost him 3 lives in battle. Sickness had taken another 2. Goosefeather had told her to aspire to leadership, but was this how she wanted to spend her days? Fretting and fighting and tired from the weight of responsibility? I have no choice. Starkland has chosen my past. The SunClan leader ducked under a low-hanging fern. I can tell you only what I've told you before. Life goes on. They brushed past a bush where tiny green buds had pushed off their brown husks, gazing the branches with green. Leaf bearers following by new leaf, and then by green leaf. The forest doesn't freeze forever. You must take heart from that after the loss of your kids. I know that you will be okay, and even stronger than before. Would he be so sympathetic if he knew 2 of them lived on with RiverClan? The fur pricked along her spine. Cold? Sunstar asked. A little. They padded farther through the trees. Sunstar seemed to have something on his mind. He blew for waited for him to speak. They jumped over a narrow stream, swift with snow melt, and pushed through a bramble thicket, where the stale scent of roses clung to the thorns. Sunstar led the way through the thicket and held a tendril out of the way with his tail. Are you ready to take on deputyship? He asked. Bluefur stopped, half under the brambles. This was it, the moment she'd longed for, the reward for what I had given up. Tiny spots won't get any better. Sunstar went on. He'd asked to move to the elder stand. A new deputy must be found. He gazed hard into her eyes. Will you be that deputy? Bluefur blinked. What about Sister Claw? She had to know why Sunstar hadn't chosen the fierce young warrior instead of her. Does he know about the prophecy? Sunstar stared into the trees. Sister Claw would be a popular choice. He conceded. No cat can doubt his courage, or his battle skills, or his pride in his clan. But I don't want my clan to be led into endless fighting. Our borders are strong enough without being marked over and over in blood. Sun Clan deserves to live in peace, and I believe you can give it that. Bluefer hesitated, for her mind swirling with images of her kits, of Oakhart with moonlight on his fur, and of sister claws glistening with blood. Sunstar repeated his offer. Are you ready, Bluestar? Bluefer nodded. I'm ready. The last mountain drifts sparkled in the dying sun, and pink light dappled the clearing. Sunstar stood at the foot of the high rock, with tiny spots on one side, Bluefer on the other. The Sun Clan deputy's shoulders were hunched, his haunches drawn in as though in pain, his ribs pushed against his ragged pelt. Sunstar dipped his head low. Tiny spots. Sun Clan thanks you for your loyalty and your courage. You have served your clan well, and we hope that your days in the Elders' Den are peaceful. Your stories and wisdom we still have a place in the clan, and we will continue to learn from you. Tiny spots flicked his tail. Bluefer saw pain flash in his eyes as his clanmates yelled his name.
Tiny spots! Tiny spots!
Rosetail's voice rose above the others as she cheered her old mentor. Sisiclaw lifted his muzzle, growled Tiny Spot's name. Bluefer flinched when she thought about how Sisiclaw must feel about not taking the deputy's place. Bluefer, Sunstar touched his tail to her shoulders. You will be Sun Clan's deputy from this day forward. May Star Clan grant you the courage to help your clan face whatever lies in its path. And when the time comes for you to take my place, I pray you will shine at the head of our clan.
Bluefer! Bluefer!
She felt the pale sun warm her pelt and breathed in the scents of the forest, her home, and now her territory even more than before. White Storm cheered her, pride singing in his yell, but Sisiclaw drowned him out with a yell that reached for Starkland. Bluefer shifted her paws. The warrior's eyes were gleaming with fury, and she guessed his loud call was just a trick to fool the clan into believing the new deputy had his full support. If they only had seen him as she had, with his claws at Oakhart's throat, goading Tigerclaw on to savage a helpless kid, pacing the borders with loud-eyed hunger for revenge. The memories gave Bluefer strength. Whatever it had cost her, she was the only cat who could stand in Sisiclaw's way. Only she knew what he was capable of. For the first time in moons, there was enough fresh kill for a feast. Early new leaf had brought mice from their holes, and birds from the secluded leaf-bare nest. As the clan cats shared what they had, Sunstar beckoned Bluefer to his den. I know, I've made the right choice. Sunstar swished through the lichen and sat down, a silhouette in the shadowy den. You still have a lot to learn, but I'm looking forward to mentoring you again. Bluefer tipped her head. I'm ready to learn. The clan leader shook his head. We must work together if we are to guide the clan well. Never be afraid of sharing your worries with me. I trust your judgment, and will listen to whatever you have to say. Then I could voice my fears about Sisiclaw? Bluefer risked with a quick glance at him. Sunstar nodded. I share them. Believe me. But I believe that he is also loyal and a useful warrior. We should be proud to have him in our clan. The Sun Clan leader glanced at his paws. While we're being honest, there is something else you should know. A secret only Featherwhisker and I share. Bluefer narrowed her eyes, so she wasn't the only cat in the Sun Clan with secrets. I just have 3 lives left. Not 4. Sunstar confessed. Bluefer blinked. How did you lose the extra one? And why keep it a secret? I didn't. It was never given to me. When Pine Star left, he still had 1 life as the leader of his clan. Starkland counted this life against mine. They gave me only 8 because Pine Star kept his 9th. Bluefer understood, and he kept it a secret in case the clan saw you did not have Starkland's full blessing. She tipped her head to one side. But you can be honest now. Surely, you have proved over and over that you are a great leader. What cat would doubt it? A cat with ambition might choose to doubt it. He means Sisiclaw. Bluefer returned a steady gaze. But what about me? I have ambition, she pointed out. only to serve your clan. Sunstar answered, that is why I chose you. You have suffered much and lost much, and yet you still serve your clanmates, putting their needs before yours, willing to sacrifice all for the sake of your clan. If only he knew. My clan is all I have now, Bluefur confessed. I will give every breath in my body to serve it, regret dug in her belly. But I am fire, and this is the path I must follow.